Hi, my name is Albert Lee. I'm a freshman at Temple University. I am studying business management in the Fox School of Business, and I'm currently enrolled in the Air Force ROTC program, which means Reserve Officer Training Corps. And what that basically is after 4 years of college, I go straight to the U.S. Air Force, and I become a second lieutenant, training and helping out enlisted men. Enlisted men I give commands to, and they have to listen, they follow. So, being an officer, I need to have good leadership skills. So, after I serve my country, I plan on going to the business world and becoming a artist manager. What I basically want to do is manage artists like singers, band members, bands, things of that nature. I want to take care of their contracts, their bills, organize their tours, things like that. That stuff really interests me. I know I'm not going to make it as a musician, so I want to be in the music world as much as possible. So being in the music business is essentially what I figured out what I wanted to do. Being in the military, I plan on taking everything I learned from the military and incorporating it into what I have to do in the business world. Because in the military, you need to have good leadership skills, you need to have good leadership qualities, things of that nature. So, bringing that into the business world, I believe I will have an advantage of over many other managers that are in the same field as me. I'm very long-term oriented. I'm very optimistic about my future, about my present, about anything really. And I I love business and I love music, so putting them together is ultimately probably the only choice I could do for my future. Tell me about a significant accomplishment in your life. Well, one accomplishment in my life was when my high school rugby team and I needed to raise money for our uniforms, equipment, and things of that nature. So we hosted many events and made the team money. I was never formally put to lead, but I ended up organizing and managing everything with another team member. At first, of course, we were losing money from buying items in bulk, trying to sell them individually, making t-shirts, stuff like that. We had no organization, no leaders, so it was just a bunch of kids who were trying to make money. So my friends and I took charge and we strategized and delegated throughout the team. We were goal oriented and determined that we needed around $1,300 for the jerseys and other equipment. Well, every week the team just met up and we just brainstormed ways to make money, and slowly little ideas snowballed into actual events, and we were very successful and made a good amount of revenue. Some examples of the events that we held were bake sales, rugby oriented events like who can run fastest down the field with a rugby ball, stuff like that, raffles. We actually ended up making more money than we needed. We had a little over $1,400 at the end, so we just gave the rest of it to a local charity. I think of this as a very significant accomplishment in my life because my friend and I took charge and we took care of business and got everything done, and even more. And I think that with that in mind, that shows that the leadership quality in me will take care of business and take care of things that have to be completed. And in the end, isn't that all a business is? Tell me about something you learned in class. Well, one thing I learned in this class is that leadership is very important. You don't want to be that boss that everyone's afraid of. You want to be a transformational leader. What a transformational leader is a leader who has individualized consideration, intellectual stimulation, idealized influence, and inspirational motivation. What those are four traits that are very crucial into being a successful leader. Individualized consideration means you make every employee feel like an individual. Intellectual stimulation means that you make your employees think outside the box. You make them think like they've never thought before. Idealized influence is when the leader sets by example. And inspirational motivation is when you inspire and you motivate your employees to become the best that they can be. Another thing I learned in this class is that culture is one of the most important aspects in a successful business. With no culture, there's no team cohesiveness, there's no team togetherness. Like we read in the Wall Street Journal, companies with weak cultures tend to fail very quickly, and companies with strong cultures tend to be very successful and remain successful. One last thing that I learned in this course were the type of powers. There's legitimate power, reward, coercive, expert, and referent. Those are the 5. And the one worst one to be is coercive. Coercive means that you are power by force, which is not something to be proud of. You don't want your employees to be afraid of you because they will be doing everything in fear rather than them wanting to do it for their benefit and also yours. Those are the kinds of things that really stuck to me in this class, and there are a lot more, but those are the 3 that were very important.